Standing on the brakes, trying to get as much.
Here's the grid then for this, the 6th round of the championship. It's Reynards to the 4, with Andrew Park and Andy Storr on the front row. Colin Wright and Graham Ridgway will go on row 2 ahead of Mick Whitehead and Eric Bailey. Jeremy Main and Anthony Rain, Stephen Glasswell and Jeremy Kane will complete the top 10. And David Walton, Andrew Smith, Ben Sims and Tom White complete the grid. Those back 4 cars didn't finish yesterday, so there'll be cars coming through the field. Ben Sims especially somebody to watch for. But there's our championship leader. He's won 4 races out of 5 this season. It's Andrew Park. He starts on pole. His championship contender, Ben Sims, didn't finish the race yesterday, so Park extended his championship lead. Second is Storer, and third is right there on the podium yesterday. We got Graham Ridgway and Mick Whitehead ahead of Eric Bailey. There's Jeremy Main and Anthony Rain. Stephen Glasswell, he had a spin yesterday, recovered tonight. See what he can do today. Then there's our 4 retirees. And there is Ben Sims in the Spax liveried Reynard. Alongside him, the Osella, the Class B car of Tom White. Both of those drivers will be coming through the field. The drivers look towards the starters gantry where the red lights have been on, but they're out now and the race is underway. And the cars head down towards Coppice Corner on board with Ben Sims, who's trying to go past cars down the inside. He's picked off 2 there. Now we turn into Coppice Corner. Of course, the problem here with Cadwell Park being such a tight circuit, there's very little room to find a way past, but when Sims does, he is flying past them. In the far distance, you can see Andrew Park is pulling away, but here comes Sims. He's going to pass the car of Andrew Smith, who's had a good run also. He just started a row above Sims, so that was a good start for him. Stephen Glasswell is next up. We head through Chris Curve. Side by side up ahead too. Sims has gone down the inside into the gooseneck. Slides his way through there and we're onto the back of the next car. Big look up the head of the field. That looked like the Andy Storer car that's lost out on this opening lap. Let's pick up the order then. Well, it's Graham Ridgway there ahead of Andrew Storer, Mick Whitehead next up. Then it's Ben Sims, who's just gone past Jeremy Main, and then Stephen Glasswell. Down towards the Hall Bends we go. Well, it's Andrew Park well clear of Colin Wright. Then we've got Graham Ridgway in 3rd place with this queue of cars behind him. So that's a great battle, isn't it? There's Tom White. He's gained a place 2. Out of Barn Corner. There's right then in 2nd. 3rd is Ridgway. 4th is Storer. Nose to tail for the 5th as Ben Sims puts the pressure onto Mick Whitehead, heading down towards Coppice Corner. They are nose to tail. Sims comes out of the slipstream, looks down the inside. No room there though. Whitehead firmly slams the door shut, but then Sims goes down the inside into Charlie's. He's through. The second part of Charlie, we can see the battle between Graham Ridgway and Andy Storer for 3rd and 4th, headed onto the park straight, up the road. In 2nd place is Colin Wright, but it's side by side for 3rd because Storer is making his way to the inside of Ridgway. Ridgway defends the line, and Storer has to get out of it. He looks up into park corners. He tries to go around the outside of Ridgway. He gets the car stopped, immediately defends from Sims, who's caught them now. So this is 3rd, 4th and 5th. Sims slides through Chris Curve. Down towards the gooseneck we go. Lots of curb clattering there as Sims uses all the road available to him. He looks down the inside of Storer. Storer breaks there. He locks up again. He goes wide. Sims takes the inside line and goes through. They're chasing Colin Wright, but it is Graham Ridgway in 3rd and Mick Whitehead now looking down the inside of Storer. The 2 cars are side by side, and again Storer locks up into the mountain, but he stays 5th. He slots back on the inside of Mick Whitehead. Behind them, it's Jeremy Main and Stephen Glasswell, who's looking down the inside. They run side by side into the Hall Bends. Who's going to come out on top of those? It is Main. He stays ahead of Glasswell. And there's Tom White next up. He's gained more places on this lap. Ben Sims is putting the pressure onto Graham Ridgway. He goes one way, he goes the other way, and now tucks back in the slipstream, heading down towards Coppice Corner. He's looking to the inside. He starts to get alongside Graham Ridgway, who again firmly shuts the door in his face, and it is still Ridgway third then, the ex-Radical racer, Ben Sims, multiple HSCC champion behind him. He's again in the slipstream, heading down towards Park Corner. He slots out of the slipstream. He pulls up alongside, the two cars are level. Sims is ahead, but Ridgway still sneaking there on the inside, heading into Park Corner. But Sims has to run on the outside there, and he does go ahead of Graham Ridgway, who goes down to 4th place now. Sims immediately pulling away through the gooseneck, down towards Mansfield. Sims slides his way through. There's Colin Wright, that's who he's chasing. He's second, third is Sims, fourth is Ridgway, fifth is Whitehead. Sixth is now Stephen Glasswell, so he's going to places. Over the top of the mountain. So there's Tom White, he's chasing Jeremy Main, as we have mentioned. Just up the road, Whitehead putting the pressure onto Ridgway. There's that trio. Behind is Andrew Smith and Anthony Rain. But there's the race leader, Andrew Park. He's well clear of the rest now. Tom White into Barn Corner. Chasing Jeremy Main. Up towards Coppice, the very fast left-handed corner that starts the trip through the Lincolnshire countryside here at Cadwell Park. Ben Sims is catching Colin Wright at a fair rate of knots, isn't he? They pass the good crowd we have here today at Cadwell Park into Hull Bend. Sims right on the gearbox of Wright now. As we've mentioned previously, such a difficult track to pass on. Sims underneath the rear wing of Wright into the right-handed hairpin, down towards Barn Corner. Let's pick them up here. There they are, second and third. Right, checking his mirrors. But let's have a look at a replay of the start of Tom White. There goes Ben Sims, trying to make it 4 wide down to the Coppice Corner. That didn't quite work. But he did get past those two cars who Tom White had to back out of. Wait for later in the lap. The Jeremy Kane car ahead of us. Through Charlie's. Then White had the run down the park straight to go ahead. Later in the lap, he was able to pass Anthony Rain. And then it was Andrew Smith that was next up on his list, down the inside into the mountain. Good move there. And over the top of the brow of the hill. There's Andrew Park, he's your race leader. Looking for his 5th victory this season. Huge gap. Back to Sims. So Sims has passed everyone bar Park now. Third is Wright. Fourth is Ridgway. He's slightly pulled away from Mick Whitehead now. Then we've got Stephen Glasswell next up, and the Main and White battle continuing. On board with White. Down into the hairpin. Up towards Barn Corner now. The right-hander. Into Coppice. Then Charlie's. Remember Tom White in a Class B car. Could he sit in the slipstream here? Yes, he can. He's closing on Jeremy Main. He's looking down the inside in towards Park Corner. He's levelling. He is going through his heat. No, Main has a better traction out of the corner, but White still has the inside line for Chris Curve. He is now through. Mick Whitehead has been caught by Stephen Glasswell. Oh, Whitehead has a big slide there through the mountain chicane. He's under a lot of pressure up towards Hull Bend. from Stephen Glasswell, the ex-Formula V racer. And there's Tom White, who has passed and now pulled away from Jeremy Main. So Whitehead and Glasswell cross the line, complete another lap. There's Park. Here's your leader. Takes off over the top of the hill. 15, Whitehead. 18 is Glasswell. Board with Ridgway, who is now into the top 3 as Ben Sims has retired with a mechanical issue. So it's Park from Wright from Ridgway now. There's Whitehead, Glasswell and White. Over the top of the hill for the Offseller. On board we can go with him now into Hall Bends. 4th, 5th and 6th. Down into the hairpin. Whitehead slow out of there, so Glasswell was trying to find a way through but no way past. Down towards Barn Corner. How about across the start and finish straight? Down in towards Coppice Corner. Well, Glasswell's sitting in the slipstream, but these Formula Ford 2000 cars don't give anything off of a tow like the Formula V cars that Glasswell has raced in the past. Much faster cars these Formula Ford 2000 cars are. From the late 1970s. Now, Glasswell looking to the inside. White is catching the pair of them though. Graham Ridgway still running in 3rd. That car busy today as his daughter Jennifer racing in the URS Classic Formula Ford 2000 races. So that car getting 3 races today at Cadwell. Down into Mansfield. This battle for 4th goes. Tom White has caught them, remember, suggesting that he is the quicker driver. Remember though, Stephen Glasswell also has had to work his way through the field in this one. Over the top of the mountain they shall go. 4th, 5th and 6th. All together now. Into Hall Bends. A great part of the circuit to watch from, where the faster drivers can really make a lot of time up through here. And Glasswell now looks down the inside into Barn Corner. He seems to have the speed on Whitehead through that section of the track, but then he's slower out of Barn Corner, so Tom White comes up alongside him. Glasswell defending to the inside, but White is now levelling with him down towards Coppice. White is nosing ahead, but he's on the wrong side of the circuit, so Glasswell can stay ahead there. Andrew Park laps the slower car of Jeremy Kane. There's Andrew Smith, he's past Jeremy Main now. Back on board with Tom White. Hasn't yet found a way past Glasswell. Down into Mansfield, the left-hander. They plummet down the hill into there. So make sure you get your car stopped in time. Next up, it's the run down to the mountain. Whitehead locks up. Glasswell looks down the inside. White slides. Dramatic corner there for the 3 of them. But they all continue in the same order that they already were in. Down towards the hairpin now. And off Camber Corner. Or it is under braking at least. And off is Andrew Storer. He's in the tyre wall at Hall Bends. So the marshals coming to his assistance. But it's Andrew Park that's going to win the 6th round of the HSCC Historic Formula Ford 2000 Championship. Yet again a winner. 2nd is Colin Wright. He's had a lonely race in that position. And there's Graham Ridgway. He's going to take a podium here. So out of Barn Corner and across the line. First of all comes Wright. Then will come Ridgway. Out of the 4th, that's Whitehead, Glasswell and White. They've had a good scrap.
2nd today, Graham Ridgway. Yesterday he was 4th today.
Not terribly far behind him either is Andrew Smith and Jeremy Main. Out of Barn then, across the line it is 4th place for Mick Whitehead, 5th for Stephen Glasswell and 6th for Tom White. 7th shall go just to Andrew Smith, holding off
Hilltop was your speciality, wasn't it, for years? It was.
Jeremy Main. There's Storer's car then, so they're marshals and the circuit maintenance crew having to put the tyre back together before we can go racing later on the HSCC meeting. So the result of that race, it was the Reynard of Andrew Park, who won the 13 lapper by a huge 29 seconds. Third was Graham Ridgway. Fourth was Mick Whitehead. Fifth was Stephen Glasswell. Sixth was Tom White. Seventh was Andrew Smith. Eighth was Jeremy Main. And in ninth position, a lap down, the Lola of Jeremy Kane. Next up for the HSCC Historic Formula 4 2000 Championship, we head to Brands Hatch on the Grand Prix circuit.
Andy Thought, the winner, beaming all over his face. Andy, come and collect from today's guest, Chris Druitt, getting his plaque. Well done. You obviously went for it in the early stages, just in case the possibility that Ben Sims would work his way through and challenge you.
Well, I mean, it was always going to be Ben coming steaming through. I don't know what happened to him. He's parked out the back there on Park Street, so...
He got through to second place and then had some sort of mechanical problem.
Yeah, that's a shame. It was obviously, I knew that he'd come steaming through at some point, but so I kept my head down, but I was lucky my tyres just went off and off and off, and as I was going on, I was like, oh, but yeah, it's...
Same tyres yesterday and today.
Yeah, I was going to try Cumbrian, unfortunately, and didn't bite the bullet, which, they're okay, and then, as I said, they didn't seem to disappear, they just went straight off on one lap, and that was
Right. Anyway, you've done the job, well done.